Okay, hope y'all can see me. I'm outside today. I decided to do like a different scenery today. So this is day 3 of me starting over in my 30s. Um, so today, I'm off today. It's currently raining right now. My son, he had a football um, game. It's like summer program, 7 versus 7. It was at a university today downtown, which is like 35 minutes from me, and he only um, competed against 3 teams, 3 high schools, and I have to wait until he come home because the bus took him there, and he's bringing him back. They're bringing him back, and then once they get to the school, then they have to practice again, condition, and then they'll be, sent home and stuff. But um, so I wanted to go over what I was talking about yesterday, and today it's about the truth of starting over in your 30s. You know, the slow build to success is not an overnight explosion, but it's a series of small wins. And I took some notes because I went on to YouTube Studio, and they gave me a couple of things that I said during my live, and I was just like, wow, I said that. I was kind of surprised myself with saying those things, and it's just, I mean, it's the truth. I decided, keep showing up for myself, and yeah, like I'm glad that I'm showing up for myself and different things like that. But another thing that I said was success is not overnight. It's, it's not an overnight explosion, but it's a series of small wins, like completing a 2-hour stream, which I've done, and also, creating my website. I did that last year. That was a win for me because you know, I was like, you know what, I got to get a website for these candles. I want to start off with the two. So yeah, it's going great. And then I talked about the pivot yesterday, and I successfully moved from vlogging to like live stream, and I'm dedicating my series to like candle business. What wasn't working for me was me being out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And old habits. I had to pivot because I wasn't really getting like the discovery. Excuse me, y'all. I have some hair in my mouth. I wasn't really getting a discovery and building like the momentum, like how I really should. And I just thought that starting a YouTube channel and doing it consistently, that it was going to eventually pick up. But you know, um, it's going well now. Now that I'm doing live streaming, well now. But yes, outside chitting chatting about my day 3 of starting over in my 30s. Like, um, wrote some stuff down, what I said yesterday, and just kind of going over and reiterating that. And I want to ask y'all the question: what is one small win you're proud of today? That's what I want to ask y'all in this chat. What is one small win that y'all have, that you're proud of today? Um, so I want to do like, I want to start a challenge, which is a consistency challenge with my viewers. I want to do that. Um, like, just daily habits for the rest of the week. I want to start that with you guys. And also share what has got me like down in the dumps today. I received like a phone call from my dad today because I, called him for Father's Day. I'm sorry, his dog's barking because I'm in my backyard. But I had called my dad for Father's Day, and he called me today, and kind of, child, I don't want to get emotional, but he told me today that the reason why he didn't answer the call for Father's Day when I called is because he was experiencing some pain, and he was experiencing like kidney stones. He was telling me, and he said he was in a lot of pain. And, he called me today to tell me that he's been experiencing this for like a month and a half now. And when I end this live, I got to make sure I call my brother to tell him to call him and to check up on him and stuff like that. But Chad, you just, you just never know like how much time you have with your loved ones. You never know, like, you never think when you were a little kid that your parents are going to get old. Seeing my mom, seeing my dad have gray hair, and that's like kind of, choking me up and stuff because it's like, oh my God, I never thought my parents would get old. But, just knowing that my dad is experiencing some health challenges, and just knowing that his um his foot was swollen, and he said that he had to wear a boot to work, and his job told him he had to take the boot off. And it's just like, what? Like, Dad, you shouldn't even be working under those conditions. And my dad, both of well, well, my dad is in his 50s, late 50s. My mom, she's 60. She just had a birthday this month. Um, but just, hearing that my dad was in pain and he went to work, he still pushed through work. He still wanted to show up for work. And they told him that, oh, you can't be on the floor with that boot on. And it's just like, Dad, like, why didn't you just stay home and rest? And then once you well, then return to work. Like, use your sick leave. And my dad has always been the type of guy where he liked to work. You know what I'm saying? He liked to work with his hands. And he he don't believe in like really going to the doctor, and I wish that it wasn't like that. I wish he would go to the doctor more, but he's pain. He had to work. He had to go into the hospital because he was in so much pain, and the doctor had gave him, some prescriptions of medications or whatever like that. But I just want you guys to pray for my dad, pray for my mom, pray for my family. Really, pray for me. Like, I didn't even want to go live today. I didn't even want to go live because I just know that I'm like getting choked up about it. But this is day 3 of me showing up for myself, for my series that I'm doing, starting over in my 30s. It's not bad. When I was younger and they told me that I had to start all over, I would always get frustrated with that because it's like, well, dang, how long is this going to take? And when am I going to get there? When am I going to get there? I was always anxious. Like, I've reached, now that I'm in my 30s, it's a little anxiousness there, but, it's like I'm going to just take my time to really understand what it is, where I need to go, set goals for myself, set boundaries for myself, and however long it takes, however long it takes, that's what I'm willing to do. But of course, I'm still anxious. It's still anxiousness there, but in my 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s, and 80s, and 90s, and hopefully, God's willing, the hundreds, I'll be able to experience, a different type of, I'll be able to experience life differently, you know. And, you guys, I don't want to hold y'all too long, I want to go in here and make this candle. I'm still making the candle, but at the same time, I'm still his health situations that he's going through, and I want to like call him more and be there for him more, and start showing up, to family reunions or just get a family reunion going so that we can keep in contact with my family and stuff. So I know for Christmas, I hosted a Christmas party, and that went well, and it felt good to see all those faces, those familiar faces, and catch up with them and kick it with them and stuff. But then I was like, hey, y'all got to go home. I don't care where y'all go, but y'all got to get the hell out of here because I got to work tomorrow. And I wish I could have planned it better. But, it is what it is. I know what to do, for the next time. So, yeah, Chad, I'm about to go and talk to my brother about the news that I just received from my dad today. And get ready to pick my son up from his football practice and just try to finish out the day strong. And you guys, like I said, just pray for me, pray for my family, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. See y'all in the next live. And yeah, just like, comment, and subscribe so that y'all can be notified every upload that I make and keep y'all updated. Day 4 of starting over in my 30s. Yeah. Love and light, y'all. Bye.